welcome to another fresh episode of Command Beacon. If you missed out on the last episode, we talked about Rihang Last of Abzan. I would love to hear your thoughts on it and your perspective on the possible decks you want to either include or build around Rihang. Now in this episode, I would like to talk about yet another very powerful legendary that not only does well, stand alone, but also fit right into the existing powerful EDH decks. Without further ado, let's just jump into it. Today we're going to be talking about Kydele, Chosen of Kruphix. And yes, you're correct. It has the name Kruphix in the card. So obviously this card is going to be pretty bonkers. We're looking at a Simic legendary that costs 4 mana, 2/3 legendary human wizard with keyword partner. Now for those of you guys who have not seen the spoilers so far, partner is a brand new keyword that if you have 2 legendary creatures with this keyword, you can run them both as your commanders for the deck. This opens up previously unavailable the 4 color commander decks. Now the actual ability of Kydele is tap, add a colorless mana to your mana pool for each card you've drawn this turn. This is such a simple, yet I almost want to say overpowered ability. Here's where it gets difficult, guys. There's so much I want to say about this card, I almost don't know where to begin. So let me begin by talking about a few decks that I would play Kydele in, right? A few decks that would also include her. Now, the deck that comes right off the top of my head is Damia, Sage of Stone. Now in Damia, you already have extraordinarily powerful ramp. You have access to the ritual. You have access to Heartless Summoning, which is, by the way, one of my favorite EDH card of all time. So you can play Kydele comfortably on turn 2, turn 3, give or take. Damia following right up. At which point, you're drawing 4 cards on the following turn, tap for 4 mana of Kydele and cast your Omniscience and win the game. Kydele being a wizard fits right into Damia. You already have this powerhouse of wizard tribal going on, where you have stuff like Mind Over Matter plus Azami, where you draw as many cards as you pretty much want, and you can cast, you have the mana. With Kydele being on the battlefield, you will have the mana to do whatever you want. Whether that's casting your Omniscience or casting your Stroke Virginias or, anything. Any kind of artifact, maybe lock down the board with a stack strategy, if that's what you prefer. Kydele give you that explosiveness. Now, in Damia, of course, you are also going to be running Sylvan Library. And Kydele, just with Sylvan Library alone, is powerful enough. Heck, I think even if you're just drawing 1 card a turn, like you normally are, getting that 1 extra mana a turn is kind of off the charts already, because you're 1 turn ahead just passively all the time, and then at some point, you're gonna accumulate that critical mass of mana before your opponent does, and do whatever the hell you want with it. Excuse my language, yes, but you get my idea. Now, moving away from black, moving away from Damia for a moment, what's another deck that Kydele is good in? I would think, why not put her in another wizard tribal, Bant? Let's run Drevi. Another wizard tribal, you will also have the same kind of tool, where you have powerful ramp spells, you have Enlightened Tutor to tutor up the powerful rocks. You can tutor up Sylvan Library, alongside Kydele. You have Worldly Tutor for Kydele if you want it. Drevi can untap Kydele after combat, and then you can add even more mana. In this situation, Kydele would not be casting that many instant sorcery, but rather an artifact-oriented kind of build. So she'll be able to unleash all that mana for different artifact, for different equipping cost, which gives her a very different kind of flavor in that sense, in that kind of deck. Mid-range / a little bit of aggro, equipment heavy kind of Drevi control deck. And in the same deck, you can also run stack, if that's what you prefer. So Drevi, Damia, right? Two super powerful commander. Kydele fits right in there. That's a good sign. What's another commander I can think of would be Nekuzar. Now in Nekuzar, there are so many cards included to kind of excel both you and your opponent in drawing cards. And Kydele naturally takes advantage of that. Now, of course, at this point, we are venturing into the 4-color commander roster, the possibilities with the new keyword, partner. Now, Nekuzar is already quite good. Just like Drevi, just like Damia, Nekuzar is already quite powerful. And you can now take even more advantage by having Kydele in there. In this kind of deck, what I want to try is, because you are including Temur in the combination, some of the things I would like to try is maybe run Rakdos, run Eldrazi's in this kind of deck. Now, of course, that would shift the focus from Nekuzar, but then again, you are not necessarily playing Nekuzar as your commander, right? Because you are partnering Kydele with a Rakdos general. So Nekuzar becomes the support and naturally buff all the other commanders and buff the rest of the deck. And dealing the damage, casting, drawing more cards, wheeling effects, leads to Eldrazi's, leads to a early Maelstrom Wonder that casts even more spells. I mean, the engine just kind of runs itself. And at that point, I mean, sky is the limit. There are just so much possibilities, so many things you can do. So that's yet another combination of decks that I would like to try Kydele in. Now, just by herself, a 4-mana 2/3 blue-green Simic Wizard kind of deck is still going to be just fine. The pieces are definitely there, and you are playing a more control-oriented deck, a more traditional, more classic styled counter, draw, go, right? I mean, my friend pointed out this to me earlier, that if you have Kydele out on the battlefield and you cast, you cast Intellectual Offering or Plea for Power, the choices become kind of really difficult for your opponent on Plea. And yeah, Intellectual Offering become quite insane, even more insane than it already is. So I would also like to try just the 2-color combination, nothing fancy, a classic build for Kydele, right? Maybe you kind of run like a human-based deck or a wizard. Well, I mean, I can do both human and wizard at the same time, and it's not hard at all. But the previous 3 decks we mentioned are all wizard tribal. So I would like to kind of try out the human portions of the deck. So I would like to see how that goes. But I know this for sure, is that even as a 2-color, even just with her alone as your general, you can almost never go wrong. The amount of support in those 2-color will make you feel very comfortable playing Kydele. This card is so elegantly designed, so simple, but she is hitting all of the right marks. All of the right marks. Even that flavor text, she bears the greatest burden of all, that of knowing. If you guys might not have read this before, but in the Wizard Archive, there was an article written long time ago. It was on the storyline of Magic. It touched on a conversation Kydele had with Kruphix. Kydele was had an opportunity to walk alongside of a kind of like a life-size Kruphix, like same height as her and everything. and they had a deep conversation about what's troubling Kruphix, the elder god of Theros. And it was kind of like a interview Kydele did on Kruphix, asking what was troubling him, asking what the visions of his was, asking for the burden that is a curse and also a blessing. That is the way of knowing all things, how it felt. And Kruphix revealed to Kydele the threats beyond Theros' own plane. And as Magic players, we know that include Nicobolas, that include the terrifying stage in which the Phyrexia were at the time, with the Praetors as well as the Eldrazi's at the point. So that was a very interesting article. If you guys haven't read that before, I would highly recommend it. It was a good read for sure. And that story just makes me like Kydele even more. It's a little bit weird for me to not see Kydele as a human oracle rather than a wizard. I wish it's an oracle, but that would make Kydele much worse. So my feelings are split 50-50. Would you rather have her be an oracle or wizard? And is that coming from a flavor point of view or a technical point of view? Or simply because there aren't that many oracles around? Let me know, in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. Your thoughts on Kydele. Let me know the kind of decks you would like to try her in. Maybe the kind of decks you already have a home kind of saved up for her. And what are some of the sick combinations of cards that you're looking forward to play alongside Kydele? Leave a comment down below. If you like this comment, give me the thumb up, would be much appreciated. In the meantime, take it easy, guys, and I will see you in the next episode where we'll go over yet another super exciting card from Commander 2016. Peace out.